Jesus, let me fix my hair. Oh my god. A mess. And I'm not changing my shirt either. I've been told to change shirts recently. Okay, chat. Guys, I'm not live. I don't know why I'm saying chat. It's a video I didn't plan on making. And it's an intro I also didn't have any plan going into, but I'm going to talk about something that means a lot to me and I think a lot of people that play video games. And I think it's something that we don't even realize we're being almost not taken advantage of, but it's something we don't realize is like too big of an issue because we just deal with what we're given. We are given the least, so we take it and we just deal with it. And I've talked about wanting to make this video for a while, and I'm just going to do it. I don't have a script. None of my videos are ever scripted. Kind of just me talking off the dome, and it's my thoughts and feelings on a lot of things. So this video is going to be how I'm going to talk about binds in games, and not just Fortnite. I mean, I can use Apex as an example now. I can use Apex as an example now, and I could use Warzone because I think Warzone I had similar issues with. And I just think binds for controller players are severely underrated, overlooked. I don't really understand the reason behind it, since it seems like every single game has the options for keyboard players to bind their game, like control their keyboards the way they want, but for some reason on controller you just can't. And I think we get shafted in a lot of ways, and I'm so sick of it. I mean, it's annoying. I just want to be able to bind things to whatever I want to bind them to, whenever I want to bind them to. You know what I mean? All right. Leave a like on the video. I know you guys are going to enjoy this one. I'm going to go off the dome, so hopefully you guys enjoy it, actually. Subscribe. Peace. Wait, let's get into the video. Okay. So, what perfect timing, like I said, not changing my shirt. I was told to change my shirt. So, it's the same day, probably 5 minutes after I recorded the settings video, I thought about it. I'm like, why not just do it? I just recorded a settings video. I'm not going to change my shirt. It's going to be too obvious. Use my code in the shop. Just kidding. I don't have one anymore. Thanks, Epic. Appreciate that. Okay, so my issue with controllers in games is that for some reason these games claim they have controller support, and the games have aim assist. So clearly they do have controller support, so why not support controller players equally like keyboarders? Keyboard players, my main issues are like, look at controller players binds. It's a limited, like, it's hard to explain why these are so many issues. Okay, so for binds for us, we basically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And obviously you can go into detail on like the build controls, but I'm just talking about basic binds. I have 4 paddles on my controller. I can mess things around. I can mix things up. I can do different things that they don't allow me to do. And like, look at the difference between our bind system. Obviously it looks like a lot because there's multiple like ability controls. Like, I don't even know who's using ability controls for anything. No clue. Edit controls, I have like 2 things bound. You can't do anything in edit mode anyway. It really looks like a lot, but it's not, I promise you. Keyboarders, look at what they have. How many binds is this? Like, I'm about to count them. I'm not counting this. They have a lot of binds. My point is, they have a lot of binds. I'm going to put my cam to the right side just so you guys can see this, and it's ridiculous. Oh, well, you guys just can't see anything because I'm the worst streamer ever. Here we go. Look. Okay. So I'm going to scroll up. Look at this. Look how many bind options. I could run a marathon and come back, and I can't run a marathon. I'm lying to myself. Look at this. They have buttons for things I didn't even know existed. What even is like creative building grid snap? Like, what even is that? I don't even understand what that means. But obviously these are just like creative things, but in general, like, they can switch up their boost, they can switch up their whatever they want, energy cannon, tractor beam if you have pubs. Like, the point is, obviously some of these might seem irrelevant. Honk, I can't change honk on a controller, I don't think. Like, the point of this whole thing that I'm saying, you could change your honk bind in a car and a chopper. Why can't I do that on controller? Why can I not do that if I wanted to? The point of this video is, look at stuff like this. That, like, obviously, look at all these useless binds. Who even knows what's good here? Like, you can change the button to object carry / side grade, DBNO carry, DBNO place. I don't even know what that means, but look at this. My main issues, my main point is, look at these weapon slots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can bind them to whatever I want on whatever key. And yes, obviously, keyboard players have a lot more keys than a controller, but guess what? I have buttons. Why not lay out this, why not lay out the controller system exactly the same way the keyboard system is laid out? And if you have to give an option to go into like edit controls, build controls, then do it. The point is both like inputs should be as like comparable as possible. Like, I don't know why Epic feels the need for keyboarders to have their settings looking like this with all these options. Like, if I have the extra binds for it, why not let me do this? Why can I not, if I wanted to, even if I didn't have paddles, let's say for example I didn't have paddles, why can I not bind weapon slot 1 to my left stick and weapon slot 2 to my right stick and weapon slot 3 to LT, like weapon slot 4 to RB? Like, why can I not do it? The point is, these binds are not available to us, and it is a frustrating thing that happens on every single controller game ever made, and I don't understand why. I'll never understand why. And people make the argument all the time that it's like for controller players because controller doesn't have as many options, which is definitely true. But if I want to sacrifice a bind that I deem less useful than another bind for, like, I could pull out my shotgun. I don't use my face buttons right now. I could pull out my shotgun with X or whatever. I could pull out my shotgun with my left stick, just so I don't have to scroll anymore through my inventory. Controller players are constantly forcing games to scroll through their inventory with different buttons. On Apex, when I press my inside left paddle, that's how I swap weapons, and if I hold it down, I pull up my knife. Keyboard players can do weapon slot 1, 2, 3 with on 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2 for their guns, and then 3 for their knife, and it insta comes out. They don't have to hold anything. My point is, like, it happens throughout all games, and I don't really need to show you guys the difference on Apex. The main point is just like, I don't understand why the option isn't available. It'll never make sense to me. They could literally have this exact same setting option that I'm looking at right here, right? But just with controller inputs. So like where it says like weapon slot 1 through 5, like it could say like left LS, like it could show this left stick symbol. It could show the controller symbols. You know what I mean? But the same format. Like I could have triangle here, square here, like just like keyboard controls, say controller controls at the top left, and then just give us the exact. If I want to run forward, if I want to sprint with my touchpad, I should be able to sprint with my touchpad. That's the point. The point is all these things are available for keyboard players, and it's so easy and readily available. So when you switch games, okay, so this is where it gets a bit confusing. But when you switch games on keyboard, your sensitivity can always transfer over. You can always find a sensitivity like multiplier or whatever that like transfers it properly from Fortnite to Apex to Warzone to Valorant, whatever game you want to play. And your binds can also pretty much transfer over. If I use E and Q on Fortnite for my two guns, my shotgun AR, then on Apex I can use E and Q for my guns on Apex. Like, it doesn't make a difference. The issue for controller players is when we try to switch games, my biggest issue here, I'm gonna load up Apex just to show you guys right now. Keep in mind, I'll say this when I get in Apex. Okay. This is going to be the most out of order YouTube video probably of all time, and I'm really, really sorry for that because it's going to be all over the place, but it's something I really care about, and I think I kind of need to talk about it now so I don't forget my points and my reasoning behind things. Okay, so look at my settings. Controller. Look at mouse and keyboard, chat. Just so you guys understand before I get into my main point that I was making between Fortnite and Apex. Look at mouse and keyboard. This game's a simple game. If the point, like, it doesn't look like a lot, but I promise you it is. If you, on this game, to pull out heals, if you guys have ever seen it. Wait, can I go into the firing range? Wait. Here, I could show you guys so much better in the firing range here. Okay, perfect. My controller's literally not plugged in, but it's okay. I'm gonna plug it in real quick. Yeah. Yeah, that was a bit weird. Okay. Now, a lot of you guys are here for Fortnite, I know, but the point is to show you guys how weird binds are in games. Okay, so on Fortnite, look at what I do. This takes me to like the menu basically. On Fortnite, my interact is my touchpad. So I interact like this. I pick up weapons like this. How much easier would it be if when I came to Apex, I could just say, hey, I'm going to bind my touchpad to interact so I can keep picking things up. But unfortunately, on a game like Apex, you cannot bind touchpad to interact. I promise you, there's probably ways you can do it through Steam and ways you can macro it to work, but like just strictly in the game's interface, there's no reason why you can't, but for some reason, you cannot bind touchpad to interact. So on Apex, I pick up weapons with my left stick. I pick stuff up with my left stick. You know how annoying that is when I go back from Apex to Fortnite? Like, it feels a little awkward for a couple minutes. It's not that big of a deal, but it's frustrating. I feel like I'd be able to adapt to games way faster had my binds been exactly the same. Now look, let me go into my binds. How do I do this? Settings. Okay, so oh wait, this is what I was gonna do. Wait, here. Let me pick up all these heals. Right, I got all these heals. Okay, so to pull up my heals on controller, and this is something that keyboard players do too. So do not misunderstand me when I say this. Keyboard players use this wheel as well, but it's an example of what an issue is. Look what happens. So when I press my inside right paddle, it pulls up this wheel. I have to scroll to whatever heal I want and let go, and then I can start using it by pressing the same paddle. And that's the only way to do it on controller. There's no way to macro it. There's no way to bind it. You have to press your wheel. And keyboard players press the wheel too, so I'm not really complaining about that. But look at the options they have if they want to. They have each individual weapon item, like use shield cell, use shield better, use Phoenix kit. You can, if you want, because of how many binds you have open on keyboard, bind these to whatever you want. Individual binds. If I know, and think of how much faster that could be if someone were to get used to this. It's a simple game, I know. But like, say I have 3 and 4, because I don't use those binds on keyboard in this game really. Or sorry, 4 and 5 is my like shield cell and shield bat. I don't even have to scroll through my wheel to find them to use them. And that's obviously, it's not something that people do. The point is, it's not practical for controller players. When on keyboard, there are these options. Why do we not get the option is my point. Why do these games continue to mistreat controller players and treat us like we're idiots? Like they treat us like we can't handle it. These are the binds on controller, chat. These aren't even binds. These are just like sensitivities and stuff. Look at our bind options here. Button layout. We have, I go to customize, obviously. You have 16 available options for button layouts on this game. 16. And honestly, it's really frustrating. My map is my touchpad in this game, but my map in Fortnite is left on D-pad, and I use my index finger to press that button. It's just super frustrating that I can't come over and just transfer all my settings, because I could if they just let me. The reason I don't remember the exact reason, but the reason I can't bind my touchpad to interact, which I did try, is that interact, pickup, and reload, for some reason, whatever you have your interact bound to, is the exact same button that you use to jump out of the bus, jump out of the plane to get onto the map, and also to swap weapons. You hold to swap weapons in this game. For some reason, touchpad, when you bind it to interact in this game, does not let you, what the heck was that? It does not let you jump out of the bus, even though it does let you interact. It does let you pick things up, but there's no way to bind jump out of the bus, and there's no way to bind pick up items. So the point is, like, why? What is the point of not letting us mess with our binds? Give us the option. Give us this same keyboard mouse layout like this, but for a controller player. Like, it'll never make sense to me in a million years, ever. They can literally ping enemy here, ping going here, ping looting here, ping defending here, if they want. Why can we just not get these options and leave them blank like keyboard and mouse players? I know this video probably sounds like me complaining for however long this video goes on for, and I'm really sorry, because it's probably a bit frustrating to hear if you're just like a casual person who doesn't understand. But like, It's just frustrating things that don't need to be a thing as long as we're just treated equally. I don't understand why controller binds have to be so complicated when they're not. They could give us so many different options and they choose repeatedly to not give us these options. So on keyboard, I'm not sure if they have like a jump button, like a jump out of the bus option here. I don't know. Point is, it's really complicated. It's not fun to deal with. I wish they just gave us all these options that they gave us on keyboard and on controller. That's my entire point. I'm not gonna go through the Warzone binds, but it's the same exact thing. My binds on this game and my binds on Fortnite are very different because they have to be different when they don't have to be. Realistically, I could if they just gave us good options to change binds, I could literally do so many different things in this game to keep my binds exactly like Fortnite. So when I got on Fortnite and on this game, I would be really comfortable and there'd be no change. Same with Warzone. Warzone's the same way. It gives you the same bind system. You know why? Because every single game developer, I'm a full screen for this one. Every single game developer thinks we're stupid. They think people who play video games on controllers are too stupid to handle binds. That's what they say every time one of these games comes out with a UI system like this for binds. It's embarrassing. It's annoying. It's frustrating. It shouldn't be a thing. It doesn't need to be a thing. And it'll forever continue to be a thing unless videos like this are made. So I hope this gets out. I hope people see it. Share it. Whatever you got to do. I know I've ran a lot on some of these types of videos, but it is incredibly frustrating the stuff controller players have to deal with, which do make up, remember, the majority of gamers are controller console players, and for some reason we are just constantly mistreated, and it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. It'll never will. Maybe one day this will be fixed, or maybe one day everyone will just be playing games on keyboard. Who knows? Who cares? Point is, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, man. I was just kind of ranting, getting it off my chest. I just wish it was easier, man. I wish I could hop on Apex and have my sprint, my weapon swaps the same as controller like keyboarders can, but instead I have to pretty much have muscle memory build up on 2 to 3 to 4 plus different games anytime I want to play controller, which is not fun. So if you agree with me, leave a like on the video, drop a sub, almost at 150K. Comment down below if you liked it. Let me know what you think, because I did my best. Like I said, I don't script these. They're all free-balled, just freestyling, talking off the top of my head, which may make the videos a bit worse, but it's more authentic that way in my eyes. Like, I see that as more authentic. All right. Peace out, guys. See you guys in the next video.